cover any other things, we're in here for another 40 minutes, so you can ask the questions about the stuff and the things. I'll just give you a quick introduction. Some people, maybe a couple people were not here when we got started. So I'm Tiffany Grant. I've been working in anime now for a little over 21 years. I'm a voice actor. I've worked on hundreds of different shows like Evangelion, One Piece, Full Metal Alchemist, lots and lots of shows. And I've also done script adaptations like for Infinite Stratos and for several other series like Sister Princess and Mabaraho, Godanner, Angelic Layer. I have attended 220 or 30, something like that, conventions around the world. So if you have questions about voice acting or script writing or conventions or show business in general, etc. Yes, red shirt lady.
As a person who dubs, do you find yourself emulating the original voice actor, or do you try to do your own thing?
I think there's definitely some influence of the Japanese version. Obviously, we're doing it in a different language, so it's not going to sound exactly the same. I think it would be hard not to be at least influenced by it, because we do hear the Japanese version when we're in the studio. So, I think that whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you're somewhat influenced by hearing it, but obviously we're not trying to mimic what they did. It would be, if you think of it as like doing a play, Shakespeare has been performed in probably every language around the world, or any other playwright that you want to pick, Neil Simon or whoever. Even every production that's ever been done of Barefoot in the Park or The Odd Couple or whatever, even if they're all done in English, people don't go and watch one version of the play and then say, we will try to do it exactly like those people did it. I mean, you try to do a faithful interpretation of the text and do it well, but you're not necessarily trying to duplicate or parrot or mimic what anybody else has done before. Yes. The other questions? No? Yes.
Can you tell us anything about the dubbing for the third Rebuild movie?
Oh my gosh.
I heard there was a screening, but something.
Oh, okay. Oh, no.
Exactly
Should not lie down the table. So, the third Evangelion movie. We recorded all the dialogue for that in 2013. There was a premiere at New York Comic Con of the movie on my birthday, October 11th. I wasn't there, but I knew it was happening. October 11th, 2013. That's right, it's 2015 now. That happened in 2013. They screened it at New York Comic Con.
Sorry.
And then I kind of thought it was being released like in early 2014, and then that didn't happen. Then last summer we went back in and we re-recorded a lot of stuff that was decided needed to be tweaked. Like Kara wanted changes. That's the Japanese production company. And they wanted certain changes, so we went in and we tweaked all this stuff, and now it hasn't come out, so that's all I know. If you go to the Funimation website, it says, coming soon! So, I have made for you a statement of factual things that have occurred, and other than that, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing. I just keep thinking, when is it gonna come out? So, it seems crazy to me that it hasn't come out yet, but I have no idea. Absolutely no freaking clue. I do not know. It's a mystery to me.
But it doesn't sound like, so the second set of dubbing has been finished then, so.
Yeah, we went in and we recorded all the stuff, all the changes that they wanted. So, I mean,
Maybe it's not high on the priority list.
I
or
don't
something.
know. I really can't even guess an explanation for. I mean, I don't know.
Blame Sangiers.
Yeah. You can get the Japanese Blu-ray. That's all I know. That's all I can tell you. Otherwise, I don't know.
Probably pretty
Don't
expensive.
know. Coming soon.
But it's so worth the money.
Oh, I'm
Coming
sure.
soon.
Like the Transformers, the movie Blu-ray that's not out in America. That old 80s movie.
Anybody else have the questions about the stuff and the things? The anime and stuff?
Speaking of releases, like all the old series you ran, like Sorcerer Hunters and Chrono Crusade, were those? Is there ever any chance of them seeing a Blu-ray release or anything? Like
I really don't know. He was asking about shows like Chrono Crusade and Sorcerer Hunters, if they'll be coming out on Blu-ray. I don't know. I really have no idea. I'm just like so far removed with being involved with anything to do with like when stuff gets released or how it gets released, or I know nothing. Usually I know when it's come out when I see it, or someone brings it to me to sign it. I go, oh, well, that happened. So I really don't know, because I don't, like, for example, in those two shows, I don't even know who, if anybody, has the English rights on them right now. Typically, when an American distributor gets the rights for a show, you know, there's a period of time. Like, okay, we have the rights to distribute this show on home video, which would be like DVD, Blu-ray, etc. You know, that's one set of rights. Streaming it online, that's a different set of rights. Broadcasting it on television, that's a different set. So there's all these different things, but they negotiate that for a period of time. So when that expires, then it has to be renegotiated. So if it's for like maybe, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But then somebody has to decide whether they want to license it, and for how much, and for how long, and if it's worth it, and so on.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I appreciate it.
Not known to me.
Just take a shot, just in case.
Yeah, don't know. Like, I don't even know, like, the second season of Infinite Stratos, the DVD, even though I didn't have it here, because someone stole it out of my suitcase. That's what happened. It was taken out of my suitcase. Anyway, the Blu-ray is not yet out on that. The Blu-ray is out for season 1.
Because I got like,
But for season 2, the Blu-ray is not out. And the reason that there's a delay usually between the DVD and the Blu-ray is, and this is entirely Japanese on their end, that on DVD, you guys probably know, like, there's a region, right? And in the US, we're region code 1. And so different areas of the world have a different region. So on DVD, the US and Japan, it's a different region. Like, if you have a US DVD, it won't play in a regular Japanese DVD player. I know, you can put it in your computer or whatever. Okay. But anyway, it doesn't play in a regular DVD player. But with Blu-ray, US and Japan are the same region for Blu-ray. So that's usually why there's a delay for the US version of the Blu-ray to come out, because our Blu-rays are significantly, incredibly cheaper. They're way cheaper than the Japanese Blu-ray. So if they came out too soon after the Japanese version, the Japanese fans, they would not buy the Japanese Blu-ray. They would import the American release, because of course the Japanese version is on there. They would just import it. And there is still probably some like re-importation into Japan just because of the cost factor. But the people who really want to buy it, if they really want it, then they're going to buy it and not wait for like a year or 2 years or however long it takes for the American Blu-ray to come out. So that's why there's a disparity in the time. For sometimes while there'll be like the DVD will come out, and then sometime later there will be a Blu-ray. They could have avoided that by making it a different region in the first place. Don't know. No one asks for my advice about these things. That is what it is. other questions? Yes.
What would be your favorite scene from Evangelion you're voicing?
That is difficult. Favorite scene from Evangelion? I probably have a few. I did like the training sequence for both of you dance like you want to win. That was pretty fun. And I don't know, the whole kissing thing, which is really mean and horrible, but I think that's like about episode 15 or something like that, where she's taunting Shinji and she kisses him and then she has to go and, you know, gargle with Listerine or something. I don't know, there's lots. I really liked the introduction of Asuka. I thought that was awesome. Asuka strikes and she smacks the crap out of Toji. That was so really good. He had it coming. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yes. What is your favorite Asuka scene in Evangelion? Not so easy, right? That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to. You can think about it. You can tell me later. Questions about stuff? Yes.
Did you have any sort of dramatic background before you got into voice acting? And did you decide to do any sort of drama related things to improve your acting?
My background was in theater, so I was active and participating in theater and also in speech, if you guys know what that is. There's like speech tournaments and you go and you do like duet acting scenes and poetry readings and all that. So I did that in high school, and then I did go to college. I never finished college or got a degree or anything, but I did go to college and studied theater. And so that was my background, and then actually like performing in theater. So that was really my background before I got into voice acting. And then, you know, at that point I still, you know, continued pursuing. I was still pretty involved in theater for several years after that. And I have since, you know, I've worked in a lot of other areas of acting as well. I've done some work in film, and I've done other kinds of voiceover work, you know, like a couple of video games. I've done a lot of commercials. I've done industrial films, you know. So I've done a lot of different mediums of acting. Haven't really taken any classes in a long time. I did years ago. I continued taking some classes in different things like on-camera training, and took a voiceover workshop and things like that. But haven't really for years, which is probably very bad. But anyway, I think this is an interesting thing, and a director that I had one time, a theater director, I thought said something that was really just spot on, that he felt like acting was one of those professions, one of the few professions that a lot of people just sort of thought, I can do that, you know, without any kind of, you know, training or anything. They're just like, oh, well, you know, what do you got to do? You just talk, so anybody could do that. I could talk, I could be an actor. And what I say to that is, if you have seen a car commercial that has been produced for a car dealership in your local area, you know that that is not true. Just watch any of your local commercials for the law offices or furniture dealerships or car dealerships or whatever. It is not true. So, yeah, I think training for actors, I do think, is very important, as with, you know, any kind of career someone might pursue. A degree, and of course I would say that because I don't have one, but it's less important. No one wants to see your credentials before they hire you for an acting job. You know, it's not like like you need to have like be a licensed electrician or whatever. Nobody needs to see like a certification to prove that you're really an actor to go and do this part. Like you do the audition, and if you did okay with that, then they'll, hire you to do the role. So I'm reading right now Rob Lowe's second autobiography, and he has this great bit in there. He didn't even finish high school, but he never really took an acting class or acting workshops. His acting class was being directed in a film by Francis Ford Coppola, so that was like his acting school. He was in The Outsiders when he was a teenager. But anyway, yeah, acting training is really important, but having an actual degree, because if you pay to go to a college and you pass the classes, they will give you a degree. That doesn't mean that you're really any good or not, though. So, all right. I want to see what your Dr. Who shirt is here. Oh, cool. Viv has the ball. Very cool.
The Angels have the DeLorean shirt.
Oh, I love that. I love it. When is Doctor Who coming back? Is it April? Is it next month? Please tell me it's next month.
It's next month.
Next month.
Hopefully. You caught up with all the seasons?
Oh, yeah, I watch it all. I've watched it as it. Yes, I've seen all of it. Anybody watch Orphan Black, by the way?
I love Orphan Black.
God, that's coming back next month. I can't wait. Okay, does anybody want to ask me questions about other stuff that is not on BBC America?
Can you possibly do your voice impression of your Evangelion character? If you can,
What are you, stupid?
I love it. I just love that character so much from Evangelion. It's been such a while since I watched Evangelion. Probably not the original.
Me too. It's okay. It's okay. There's
I
not
still
a
have
quiz.
the video cassettes.
You do. I still have all my video cassettes.
I don't own the video VCR anymore.
Yeah, I know.
They're
Yeah.
Like white videotapes too?
I have those
Some of
those
them are.
clear sterilite plastic containers, and they're filled up with all my old videotapes. Yeah.
I still have my whole shelf full of childhood videos.
Yeah.
So there's
Maggie, you know what? Okay, this is an interesting thing. My husband found this out recently. Is that apparently VCRs are going for a mint online. You can, if you want to sell your VCR on eBay, if it works, they're going for a mint because you can't buy them anymore. You can't. They're not produced anymore, so you can't go and buy a VHS player. So people are selling. Oh my God, we have got so many VCRs at our house. Like, I could just sell them and pay off my mortgage. That would be awesome. In my kitchen, I still have one of those combo things that has the VHS and the DVD thing. Yeah, you guys, you know what I'm talking
It's
about.
getting so obsolete.
I used to have a TV where it had like the VCR built into the top of it too.
Oh yeah, the TV VCR combo. Yeah. Aw.
Or the VCRs where the tape pops up.
That's what I was just thinking about when I was in school. That the VHS players had the thing was on the top and it popped up,
Like
and
the
you
beta
put the tape.
players or something.
Yeah, and they were like this big, and they
Yeah.
weighed about 60 pounds. They were
So
made out
heavy.
of steel or something. I don't know. They were
Such a
really,
pain to actually.
they were
pick
large
up.
and they were very heavy. And no one's gonna like break into your house and steal one of those. They'd be like, oh no.
And the remote control had a cord and plugged into it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even wireless.
I know. Olden times.
God.
Now the
So-
Blu-ray player is about
Like the old
Smaller than
computer
that
CD-ROM
laptop.
players
Oh,
where you
yeah.
had to stick the CD into a case and then stick it
So-
in the drive.
We still have 23 minutes to discuss all the fabulous stuff and things that you guys. Yeah, this is not from my computer, so I don't know what that is, but it's very cool. It's very, very cool. I admire it, but I don't know who did it for it.
Can you sign anything? Autograph?
Yes, I'm doing a signing session this afternoon. Yes.
3 o'clock.
Right after this is when I will be having my lunch. So that will be occurring immediately following this panel.
Yeah, I'm really hungry too.
I know, as am I. But really, no questions about the stuff and the things. Okay, stories for me to regale you with.
That's all. heard it.
Yeah. Yay. Okay.
Well, actually, I got a question before you
Yeah.
actually regale.
Oh,
the story.
please ask me questions because I really don't want to do that.
What, besides what you said about theater and stuff, what actually, or who or what actually made you pursue voice acting?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I answered that before you came in. But so my background was theater, and there was a new company that had started up in Houston, which is where I live, and these guys were looking to hire some actors to dub an anime. And the show, by the way, was something called The Guy Double Target, which is available on DVD now from Happy Carrot Films. Anyway, they were going to dub this show, and they never dubbed anything before, and they were looking for some actors. And they told everybody that they knew, hey, if you guys know any actors, have them call us up. At the same time, by the way, they put an ad in the local newspaper, the Houston Chronicle. They put an ad in there, like in the help wanted section. So it was funny when I went to the audition, and there was all these like out of work, accountants and all these people who showed up. It was very odd, but yeah. So it was my old junior high boyfriend, as a matter of fact. He knew about those guys. He knew that they were doing this thing, and they had said, hey, to all their friends, if anybody knows someone who's an actor, we're looking for actors, so tell them to come to our audition. And so, like, out of the blue, this guy that I hadn't heard from ages, and he had called me up, that's okay, he called me up and told me about the audition, and I thought, well, that sounds awesome. I would love to do that. So I called and made an appointment, went down there, got the job. Now, really, besides, like, the theater stuff, the other marginally embarrassing part of my background is that I really was obsessed with like voiceovers and voice acting, even though I had no idea how to pursue that. And when I was about, I think, 9, I got this Sony cassette player, and it was this white round player, and I would get the cassette tapes and record things in there. I would write these sketches, and I would perform the different roles, and I would get sometimes my friends to do some of the roles, and they weren't even really actors, but I would just like, hey, you read this part. And then we would record these ridiculous sketches, like when the aliens from the planet Zoodingling had run out of toilet paper, and so they were coming to Earth to get our toilet paper. I was about 10 when I wrote that. That was fantastic. So anyway, but I would do these different characters and record them on my cassette player. So that was kind of my initial voice acting background. And I was so interested in any like a TV commercial that I would hear, listening to the voice and how they emphasized certain things, and I would try to, imitate different people's voices. And I remember a big sort of Tiffany epiphany for me was probably being maybe like 7 or 8 years old and putting it together with certain people, like that Jim Backus, who was Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island.
Oh, yeah.
He was Mr. Magoo. And Don Adams, who played Maxwell Smart on Get Smart, he was Tennessee Tuxedo, and later on he was Inspector Gadget, but in my childhood he was Tennessee Tuxedo. So I started putting these things together and realizing that that's an actor who's doing the voice of this character, and really thinking about that and just, what the process would be like, which I really had no idea. So I really did always have an interest in voice acting for a long time, but again, I had absolutely no idea how anybody could pursue doing something like that. I mean, I had no idea. So it was just completely fortuitous for me that Tim Fitzhenry called me back in January or February 1994 and said, hey, these guys need to hire some actors to dub a cartoon, or whatever he said. And it's like, wow, that's awesome. I would love to do that. And luckily, I ended up getting to do it. So there you go. It's crazy, kind of, actually. people ask me how to get into voice acting down. I'm like, I have no idea. Maybe if you have a DeLorean or a TARDIS, you can like go back to 1994, and then like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it now. So, luckily, I don't have to. I am